Hello everyone. I hope you are doing well. In this video, I'm going to explain the first poem of your second term syllabus. The title of the poem is Home They Brought Her Warrior Dead, and it's written by Alfred Lord Tennyson. This poem tells the story of a woman who has lost her husband in battle. Now this poem is written from a third-person narrative that allows the readers, that is us, to see the widow's reaction from an outside perspective. At the very beginning of the poem, we see that a man's dead body is brought to his wife. We expect her to cry her heart out on seeing her dead husband, but surprisingly, she neither reacts nor says a word. We as readers therefore identify with the rest of the crowd and experience the same concern for the widow and become confused at her reaction. Now let us read the poem. Home they brought her warrior dead, she nor swooned nor uttered cry, all her maidens watching said, she must weep or she will die. The poet here describes the reaction of a woman when her dead husband was brought back to her. Her grief is so overwhelming that she cannot even cry. Sometimes this happens to us as well. We get so scared that we can't even speak a word or scream. This happened to this lady as well. She became so sad that she couldn't even say a word. She didn't faint or swoon or make even a noise. Her friends watched her and they became worried about her because she seemed not to grieve properly. They thought she might die if she did not weep as she should. They believed that if this woman did not grieve, did not cry, then the pain she refused to let out would eventually kill her. Then they praised him, soft and low, called him worthy to be loved, truest friend and noblest foe. Yet she neither spoke nor moved. As in many instances of death, the people around the dead man praised him. If you notice properly, you will see that whenever a person dies, his or her family members, relatives, friends gather around that person and praise that dead person by saying, "Oh, he was such a good person, he used to help everyone, why did he have to die at this young age?" Just the same way, the people who gathered around this dead man were praising him. They talked about his life, about the good that he did, they called him worthy to be loved, and they talked about the kind of friend he was to them. They called him true and noble, yet as the people around her grieved and spoke memories, the wife of the dead man could not speak nor move. She remained still. No one knew what was going on in her mind, but she seemed to be in a state of shock. No amount of reminiscence seemed to bring tears to the widow's eyes. She was yet unmoved. Perhaps she was unable to accept the death, even as those around her spoke of him and paid tribute to his memory. The people around her are not sure why the woman refuses to show emotion. They can't understand why she isn't crying, but they surround her with words of praise for her husband, hoping to break her out of a shock so that they might be there to comfort her. Stole a maiden from her place, lightly to the warrior stepped, took the face cloth from the face, yet she neither moved nor wept. When the people around her saw that she isn't crying, they did a number of things to make her cry. Because she still refuses to grieve, one of the young women present there walks up to the dead man and removes the cloth that was covering his face. Perhaps she thought that his wife was unable to grieve because she still could not believe or accept that this dead man was her husband. The people around the widow clearly believed that the woman ought to grieve. Thus, because she will not show any sign of grief when the people speak of him, this particular friend shows her the face of her late husband, hoping that this will help the woman to break out of her state of shock and be able to grieve properly. Rose, a nurse of 90 years, set his child upon her knee. Like summer tempest came her tears. Sweet my child, I live for thee. All this time, the people gathered round the dead man kept thinking why the woman doesn't cry. With the last stanza of this poem, the poet finally reveals to the readers the reason for the widow's silence. She has not been unfeeling or careless of her husband's death. She has not even been in shock or disbelief like the people around her thought. Rather, she has been paralyzed with fear. She did not think about her own pain at losing her husband, rather she thought of the poor child. It was not until she saw the child's nurse sit the child upon her knee that she burst forth in uncontrollable tears that came like a summer tempest. She then cried out saying, "Oh my sweet child, I now live for you." For the first few stanzas, the widow is seen only as a woman who has lost her husband. However, the last stanza reveals that she is not only a widow but also a mother. This insight sheds light into her reaction, allowing the readers to understand what had been going through her mind as she realized that her husband was dead and she would have to raise the child alone. Let me summarize this poem. Home They Brought Her Warrior Dead is not a poem about a widow who has lost her husband. It's actually a poem about a mother. This poem reflects what a mother feels. When the dead warrior was brought back home, the people expected the lady to behave as they would expect a widow to behave. But the widow was not only a woman but also a mother, and her mothering instincts led her to think of the child before she could think of herself. While she looked at the dead man before her, she was not in shock or disbelief. She was not even unmoved or unfeeling. She was just struck with fear for her child who would now grow up fatherless. The widow turned to see her child and cried out her promise that she would take care of the child and live for the child. It was at that moment that the widow was able to grieve for her own loss. Once she had determined herself to live for the child and to shield and protect the child even though the child no longer had a father, then she was able to think about her own loss and let out her grief in tears. This is where the poem ends. I have already uploaded the question answers and exercise of this chapter in our school's official app. If you have any confusions or questions regarding this chapter, you can leave them down in the comments and I will try my best to answer you. Thank you.